Hello everyone, welcome to the SBI Securities Weekly Wrap podcast. In a holiday shortened week dominated by the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, the Indian equity markets posted their worst weekly performance in a month. The escalating conflict between Iran and Israel weighed on the sentiments of the global investors, leading to a shift towards safe haven assets. So the gold prices soared about $2,400 per ounce during the week. The US market cues were also unsupportive, as few Fed officials, including New York Fed President John Williams, stated that there is no urgency for rate cut given the strong state of the economy. He even hinted at a rate hike if inflation does not come under control in the US. After hitting the $90 per barrel mark, the Brent crude prices eased to $87.1 per barrel after Iran denied reports of any Israeli missile attack. The domestic benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty, fell 1.6 and 1.7% respectively in the week, while the broader markets underperformed, with the BSE mid and small cap indices tanking 2.2 and 1% respectively. Sectorally, all the sectors ended negative on BSE, with BSE IT declining the most, down 4.6% for the week. On the domestic economic data front, India's wholesale inflation was up 0.5% YOY, a slight uptick from the previous few months, and the trade deficit narrowed to $15.9 billion in March. The FIIs net sold 19,228 crore in this week, while the DIIs continue to provide the buying support with a net buy figure of 9,089 crores in the cash market during the week. Coming to the weekly sectoral gainers and losers on the BSE, so each and every index ended in the red. However, the BSE oil and gas and the metal index were relative outperformers, with cuts of only minus 0.1% to minus 0.3%. The BSE Cap Goods Index too was down 2%, the Banking Index was down 2.1%, Realty Index down 2.8%, while as highlighted earlier, the IT Index was the worst performer, down 4.6% for the week. Talking about the weekly Nifty gainers and losers, so Bharti Airtel was up 5.2% this week. Maruti Suzuki was up 3.6%. ONGC on back of rising crude prices was up 3.6%. Hindalco with higher aluminium prices and copper prices a key beneficiary. So Hindalco was up 2.7% in this week. Power Grid was up 2.3%. While on the losing side, Adani Enterprises was down 5.7%. Auto stocks such as Tata Motors and Hero MotoCorp lost 5 to 5.5%, as well as IT heavyweights Infosys as well as HCL Tech were down 5% during this week. The rupee also depreciated by 0.1% to 83.47 levels, touching an all-time low of 83.53 on Friday on back of strength in the dollar index and rise in the crude oil prices. Coming to the domestic and global economic updates, so India's WPI inflation in March was up 0.5% YOY. The trade deficit narrowed to $15.9 billion in March versus $18.7 billion in Feb. So while the imports and exports fell YOY in March, but there were a few green shoots. So export of organic and inorganic chemicals were up 40% YOY in the month of March. Electronic goods continue to be strong, so export growth of 23% YOY. Engineering goods were up 10.7% YOY. So export focused sectors performed well in March. Coming to the domestic air passenger traffic data for the month of March, so 1.34 crore passengers flew on the domestic routes in the month of March. This was a growth of around 5 to 6% on a YOY basis. Among airlines, Interglobe Aviation retained its position as India's largest air carrier, holding 60.5% market share in the month of March, gaining 0.4% on a month-on-month basis. Coming to key corporate developments in this week, so Infosys reported its Q4 results, which the revenue growth on a constant currency basis was lower than expectations, with the guidance for FY25 also coming lower than expectations. However, net profit was up 30% YOY, and the attrition rate also continues to fall. And the deal wins continue to be strong. So the Infosys stock price largely reflects the weakness in the IT sector, and overall the results were also along expected lines, more or less. Coming to Bajaj Auto, so the standalone revenue was up 29% YOY. The gross margin also improved on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The EBITDA was up 34% YOY with improvement in operating margin to 20.1%. So overall results were above estimates, and the growth outlook too was strong. So positive set of numbers from Bajaj Auto. Brigade Enterprises reported its fourth quarter business update. So it reported highest ever pre-sales of 2,243 crores in the fourth quarter, and the real estate sales volume stood at 2.7 million square feet in the fourth quarter. So overall, good set of numbers from Brigade Enterprises as well. Vesuvius India inaugurated a new mold flux plant in Vishakhapatnam to increase investment outlay to up to 1,000 crore rupees. So this is positive for Vesuvius India as it expands its manufacturing capacity. Geo Financial Services announced the formation of a 50-50 joint venture with BlackRock to undertake wealth management and broking business in India. So this is positive for Geo Financial Services in the long term. Ambuja Cements, the promoter group, that is the Adani family, infused an additional 8,399 crores into Ambuja Cements, taking the total promoter infusion to 20,000 crore under the warrants program. So positive for Ambuja Cements. RVNL signed an MOU with a Turkish engineering, consulting and contracting firm for collaboration in public transport and infrastructure projects in India. So positive for RVNL as well. This week we have given two calls. So first is pick of the day call. We have recommended Aisha Motors Limited at the price of 4,358 rupees with a target of 4,794 rupees. Now, the key investment rationale here being Aisha Motors is the global leader in mid-segment motorcycles, especially in the 250 to 750cc segment, and there is a trend of consumers upgrading to premium motorcycles with higher engine capacity motorcycles in the 250 to 750cc segment, doing well than the standard 100 to 120cc commuter motorcycles. The company's recent new launches, so the Hunter 350, Super Meteor 650, Shotgun 650 and the Himalayan 450 have received excellent response, and the margins also have improved on back of this. So Royal Enfield's operating margin has improved from 24% in FY23 to 27% in 9 months FY24, led by stable raw material prices, price hikes and healthy operating leverage. And at the current price, Aisha Motors is trading at FY25 PE multiple of 27 times and FY26 multiple of 24 times respectively, which looks attractive. Coming to the pick of the week call update, so we have recommended Escorts Kubota Limited, which is one of India's leading tractor manufacturers specializing in farming and construction equipment manufacturing. The IMD has predicted above normal monsoon in 2024, which bodes well for the rural and the farming community. Higher crop acreage will drive tractor sales. Also, the synergies with the co-promoter, that is the Kubota Corporation of Japan, that will play out in this year as well. And the expansion of distribution network and product portfolio expansion will benefit Escorts Kubota. At current price, the stock is trading at FY24 PE multiple of 33 times and FY25 multiple of 28 times. And looking at the growth prospects ahead in FY25, the valuations look attractive. Moving on to the market outlook for next week. So, next week, global market participants will keep a close eye on the geopolitical developments and its impact on the global markets. On the earnings front, index heavyweight Reliance Industries will report its numbers on Monday and will be under the limelight. In US, data points such as the Q1 calendar year 24 GDP numbers, the core PCE index, which is closely tracked by the US Fed, as well as the initial jobless claims data will be on investors' radar. The second phase of elections in India also will take place on 26th April, so that again will be closely tracked by markets. So, for the near term, investors are recommended to stick to quality businesses with strong earnings growth potential to ride out the volatility. Some key results next week. So, Reliance Industries, Tejas Networks, Tata Consumer Products, ICICI Pru Life Insurance, Tata LXC, HUL will be reporting its numbers, LTI, Mindtree, Indian Hotels, Bajaj Finance, Tech Mahindra, Nestle India, IndusInd Bank, HCL Tech, Maruti Suzuki, Bajaj Finserv, as well as SBI Life Insurance will be reporting their numbers next week. So that's it on this weekly market podcast. Thank you for listening. For key corporate actions in next week, kindly refer to our weekly wrap report. The link to view the report is shared in the description box below. Thank you and have a nice trading session.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.